Welcome to the Cowboys Versus Ninjas Podcast. You guys have sent in some really cool flash fiction, and today we're diving into two stories about ninjas facing some pretty intense situations. Yeah, we're talking short, action-packed bursts of awesome, so no need to wade through long novels here. Our mission, you ask? Well, we're going to figure out what makes these bite-sized ninja adventures so addictive just for you.
I think what immediately grabbed me is how different these two stories are, even though they're both about ninjas. We've got Shadows in the Tournament, where you're thrown right into this established but clearly messed up world of ninja competition.
Oh yeah, Shadows in the Tournament starts right in the middle of the action, the SHI NO KAGE Tournament. And it's supposed to be all about ninja unity and tradition, but for our main character, Aiko, it's like being stuck on punishment duty because she did some unsanctioned activities. But even from that first page, you just know that something's off about this world, and its traditions might not be as strong as they seem.
That's spot on. And even stuck doing crowd control, Aiko gets drawn in by the crazy fighting styles in the arena Shadows versus Flames. That imagery is so vivid, and it immediately tells you that we're not dealing with your average ninja stuff here. It makes you wonder what other kinds of powers exist in this world, and which ones are considered okay to use, right?
And then here's where things get really good. Maybe you notice this too. Aiko sees a fighter win, but something doesn't feel right. She notes that it wasn't a clean hit, which shows how observant she is, even when she's not in the fight. And that observation pushes her to do something kind of dangerous. She steps in to help the injured ninja.
That instinct to help, to put herself at risk, is so important for understanding Aiko. I mean, it could mean she has a strong sense of justice, or maybe she just doesn't care much for rules when they seem unfair, but it's that one decision that totally explodes the situation.
No kidding. All of a sudden, a poison shuriken is flying right at Aiko and the injured ninja, and without even thinking, she uses this forbidden shadow power to create a shield. It's like, bam! Her secret anomaly is out in the open for everyone to see, and the whole order of the tournament starts to fall apart.
It's crazy. That moment when a forbidden technique is revealed, it changes everything. Aiko is in immediate danger, but it's like her action sends a signal to others who don't fit into this traditional ninja society.
Totally. And almost immediately, these other outsiders show up an illusionist, all tall and scarred, shimmering with illusions, and then a girl who can control smoke with these glowing eyes and smoky hands. It's like this chaotic moment has drawn all the nonconformists out into the open.
And what I find fascinating is that they were probably there all along, hiding in plain sight. Their powers were considered too different, too unacceptable. So Aiko, by being forced to reveal herself, might have accidentally created a space for them to be seen. It makes you think about how often people who don't fit the mold get pushed to the edges of society. Right?
And Aiko, being as sharp as she is, quickly figures out what's happening. It's not just about a strange fight. It's way bigger than that. They are being targeted, and someone is trying to expose their forbidden techniques. This tournament, which was supposed to be about unity, has become something way more sinister.
The story completely shifts, right? It goes from a tournament, a competition, to a targeted attack. The stakes are so much higher now, and it makes you suspicious. Who's behind it? And why are these specific people the targets?
So what do? They decide to fight back, and Aiko's the one who leads the charge. And the story describes this decision as reckless, insane against every rule. So right there, you know how strict and rigid this ninja world is. But like Aiko says, the other option is to be picked off one by one. It's a classic case of how sometimes breaking the rules is the only way to survive.
That idea of rebellion is so powerful. It's just that when traditions become harmful or even dangerous, people on the outside might find strength in joining together and using their differences as a weapon. It's something you see throughout history, right? In all kinds of social movements where people challenge the status quo.
Even Sensei, who you'd expect to be all about tradition, agrees, although he's hesitant. It's like he recognizes that the system has failed. But he doesn't just send them off on their own, he gives them a mission. They need to infiltrate the tournament and find out who's behind this whole mess. They go from competitors to, like, undercover agents.
Yeah, it adds a whole other layer to the story. It's not just about survival, it's about uncovering a conspiracy, and they have to do it from the inside. It's a really clever way to keep the tournament setting while making the conflict even bigger.
So for you listening, especially if you love seeing underdogs rise up and challenge the rules, what did you take away from this first story?
What really hit home for me is how Aiko and the others, their so-called anomalies, those very things that made them different, actually become their strength when they work together. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the best ideas and solutions come from people who think outside the box. This story challenges you to ask yourself, where in my own life could embracing unconventional approaches lead to unexpected strengths and alliances?
That's a really interesting point. It makes you think about how rigidly sticking to traditions can actually hold you back from new possibilities. Okay, let's switch gears now and jump into the second story, Chosen of the Blade. And here we meet Ryota, who is, well, let's just say he's not your typical hero.
Not at all. He's described as clumsy, always tripping over his own feet, and the way he stumbles into this extraordinary world is totally by accident. His, super eccentric grandpa dies, and Ryota finds this ordinary-looking sword in the attic, all rusty and covered in weird symbols. You wouldn't exactly think it's the start of a grand adventure, would you?
But that's the beauty of flash fiction. Suddenly, out of nowhere, bam, the sword glows, the ceiling caves in. Talk about shaking up a boring day. And then he's being chased by this guy. The story literally calls him a shouty man who says the sword belongs to a shrine. Ryota's ordinary life is turned upside down in an instant.
That sudden shift from the normal to the totally insane is what hooks you in. It sets the stage for this wild ride Ryota's about to go on. And the shouty man, he immediately creates conflict and makes you wonder, who is this guy? And why is this seemingly random sword so important?
And while running away, Ryota makes an unbelievable discovery, a hidden ninja village tucked away behind this glowing stone archway. And the villagers, they react to Ryota and the sword in this really mysterious way, whispering about the prophecy. You immediately know you've stepped into a world of ancient secrets and destiny.
The villagers' reaction is key. It tells you the sword isn't just some object. It has deep meaning for these people, like it's connected to something they've been waiting for. It makes Ryota's accidental discovery feel like a much bigger deal.
And just then, the shouty man catches up, which adds even more tension. He claims that only a true descendant can wield the sword. But Ryota, he feels this pull towards the archway like a song his blood seemed to recognize. It's like a gut feeling, that sense of being drawn to something you don't fully understand.
That feeling, that pull, even though Ryota doesn't know anything about this world or the sword, speaks to the power of fate, of destiny, and these kinds of stories. It's like there's a connection between Ryota and this hidden village that goes beyond logic.
And then the most magical thing happens. As Ryota touches the archway with the sword, this energy surges through him, and the rusty old blade transforms into a powerful katana. And even more amazing, he just knows how to use it. It's as if the sword unlocks something inside him that he never knew was there.
That transformation, it's so cool to imagine. It symbolizes Ryota's shift from an ordinary guy to someone with incredible potential. And the fact that he instantly knows how to use the sword, it hints that there's something special about him, maybe a hidden bloodline or a magical connection that allows him to bypass years of training.
The villagers all bow down, calling him the Chosen One, and the shouty man is totally shocked. But Ryota's reaction, he's just like, chosen for what exactly? It's funny, and it keeps him relatable. He's not some stoic warrior. He's just a bewildered teenager who suddenly has this huge destiny thrust upon him.
That sense of, wait, what's going on, is so important for making Ryota a character you connect with. He's not instantly the skilled hero. He's still the same clumsy kid, but now he has a title he doesn't understand and a powerful weapon he's only just figured out how to use. It makes you wonder how he's going to handle all of this.
And the weight of his destiny starts to sink in. He realizes his normal life is over. He's got this magic sword, no training, and he's supposed to face this unknown world. He's freaking out, asking for a quick tutorial or something, which honestly is how most of us would react in that situation.
It shows just how huge this challenge is for him. Being chosen isn't always glamorous. It comes with a ton of responsibility and a super steep learning curve. Ryota's panic is a reminder that even when you're chosen for something great, it can still be scary and overwhelming.
Even the village elders hint at the challenges ahead. One elder sighs, thinking about the chaos that's coming, the chaos that might destroy the village. It tells you there's this massive threat out there, a threat that Ryota, the unlikely chosen one, is now supposed to deal with.
The Elder Sai introduces a whole other level of conflict, something bigger than Ryota's personal journey. It suggests there's a reason, a powerful reason, why the Chosen One had to appear, and the stakes are incredibly high for Ryota and the entire village.
But even with all the chaos and fear, there's a little bit of excitement in Ryota. He starts to think that maybe being clumsy won't matter so much when he has a magic sword. It's a fun thought, and it offers a glimmer of hope in this crazy situation.
That little spark of excitement is really important. It shows that even though he's scared and uncertain, there's still a part of him that's ready for an adventure. Maybe, just maybe, The things he always saw as weaknesses could actually become strengths in this new world.
So for our listeners who love origin stories and the idea of hidden potential, what's the biggest takeaway from Ryota's story?
Well, I think Ryota's story tells you that destiny can find you in the most ordinary places, and that even the most seemingly average person can have extraordinary potential. The contrast between his clumsiness and the power of the sword is what makes it so interesting. It makes you think about what hidden talents or abilities you might have, just waiting for the right moment to be revealed.
So in these two quick peeks into flash fiction, we've seen ninjas battling tradition and using some really awesome, sometimes forbidden powers. And we've seen a regular kid suddenly become a chosen one because of a mysterious sword. Both stories, even though they're short, really pack a punch, with great characters and huge challenges.
And it's amazing how flash fiction can create such captivating worlds and conflicts with so few words. It's proof that you don't need a huge book to tell a compelling story.
Think about it. In Shadows in the Tournament, the established way of doing things is being challenged by the people who don't fit in. What does it really take for unconventional talents to be recognized, especially when there's a hidden threat lurking around? And for you, have you ever been in a situation where breaking the rules led to something unexpected or even necessary?
Right. It makes you think about the risks and rewards of challenging the system. Sometimes holding on too tightly to traditions can blind you to new possibilities or even make you vulnerable to danger.
Then we have Ryota, the most unlikely hero ever. His story makes you wonder, what if destiny finds you when you least expect it, like while you're cleaning out your attic? It makes you think about the potential that exists in everyone and how our lives can change in a heartbeat. Have you ever experienced a moment that completely changed your path, something you never saw coming?
Ryota's journey also taps into that age-old idea of the chosen one, which is a story that never gets old. Why do we love these stories so much? Maybe it's because they remind us that anyone, even the most ordinary person, can achieve extraordinary things.
These flash fiction stories, even though they're short, spark big questions about loyalty, destiny, accepting those who are different, and finding the courage to face the unknown. We really encourage you to check out more flash fiction. You'll be surprised how quickly you can get hooked on a story. Thanks for joining us for this adventure into the Cowboys Versus Ninjas podcast. Be sure to rate and follow for more episodes filled with stories about samurai and gunslingers.
And you know what? Maybe take a look around at those seemingly random moments in your own life. You never know, maybe a dusty old object or a chance meeting could be the start of your own amazing journey.